Loggers. The threshold has been crossed. 100 of you now walk these liminal paths with me. But the deeper we go, the stranger it gets. And I need more loggers to help document the descent. Subscribe now and become part of the growing archive. When we reach 500, the next door opens. What waits beyond is something I can't face alone. Join the logs. Stay aware. Stay afraid. Let's dive into today's story. They say you can no-clip out of reality if you're not careful. I used to laugh at that. Internet creepypasta, glitch in the matrix stuff. But I'm not laughing now. It started on a dare. My friends and I were urban explorers, abandoned malls, dead hospitals, forgotten train stations. We'd been in all of them. So when Caleb found a condemned office building on the outskirts of town, we packed our gear and went. It was already weird when we got there. No birds, no wind, just stillness. The building was a gray block of concrete and tinted glass, sagging under the weight of time. The door creaked open with barely a touch. Inside, everything was yellow. Not paint, wallpaper. That sickly sun-bleached color that made your stomach feel unsettled just looking at it. The lights buzzed overhead in a constant drone. The carpet beneath our boots was stained and slightly damp, like someone had left a sponge there for years. We filmed everything, half laughing at how perfect it looked. It was like stepping into a meme. The back rooms. That's when Caleb disappeared. 1 second he was there, shining his flashlight down the hall. The next, gone. No sound, no scream, just missing. We called his name, searched every corner. Nothing. Then the hall changed. I swear it wasn't that long a moment, but suddenly the path behind us wasn't the same. We turned around and the door was gone. So was the entrance, the street, the world. Just yellow walls and more hallways. Too many. All wrong. Eli panicked and bolted, said he saw someone or something move at the edge of his light. I tried to follow, but the corridor twisted, turned back on itself, or maybe I did. I ended up in a space that felt off. Not empty, just waiting. That was when I heard it. Not footsteps. Something slower. A drag. A thud. Like someone crawling. Or something pulling itself across the floor. I turned off my flashlight. I don't know why. Instinct, maybe. Like if it couldn't see me, maybe it wouldn't come closer. But I could still feel it. The pressure in the air. The warmth of something too close behind me. I whispered Caleb's name. A voice answered, but it wasn't his. It was me, whispering from behind the wall, saying my own name over and over, and laughing. I froze. The voice that sounded like mine was wrong, cracked, distorted like it had been chewed up by static and spit back out. It kept repeating my name in a rhythm that didn't match any human cadence. Then silence. My flashlight flickered back on by itself. I didn't touch it. Swear to God. The beam cut through the gloom ahead, but the hallway had changed again. Now the walls were breathing, pulsing slightly. as if the place had lungs. And I realized something. This wasn't just an endless maze. It was alive. I walked slowly. I didn't call out anymore. Something in me understood that noise was a mistake here. It was listening. Eventually I found a stairwell, or what used to be one. The steps led both up and down, but looped in on themselves like an M.C. Escher sketch. I took the downward path, hoping gravity would bring me closer to something real. At the bottom was a door, not like the others. This one was wooden, splintered at the edges and covered in deep gouges. Something had tried to claw its way through, or in. I pushed it open. Inside was a massive room, office cubicles stretched for miles under flickering overhead lights. The walls between them were too tall, like they had grown rather than been built. The buzz was louder now. 1,000 fluorescent bulbs humming in disharmony. And there, in the center of the space, stood Caleb. He wasn't alone. He turned to face me, but his eyes were gone. Just black pits, sunken deep into his face. His mouth twitched like it was trying to remember how to smile. His body moved in slow, jerky spasms like a puppet on tangled strings. Next to him was the thing. It stood too tall, but somehow too low to the ground at the same time. A shifting smear of limbs, faces, and wires. It was everything you fear in your peripheral vision. When I looked straight at it, it dissolved into nothing. But when I blinked, it was closer. Caleb, or what used to be him, raised an arm. It bent backwards at the elbow. "You're late," he said. But it was my voice. I ran. There was no logic left, just raw panic. I ducked into the maze of cubicles, weaving through partitions, leaping over overturned chairs. Behind me, the dragging started again. A scraping noise, like nails clawing through glass and bone. I found an elevator. Old, rusted, its doors open. Without thinking, I jumped in and slammed the button labeled exit. The doors tried to close, groaning and jerking like they hadn't moved in decades. A hand slid through the crack. Thin, pale, twitching. I kicked it, hard. The doors closed. The elevator lurched downward, faster and faster. Lights blinked by in a strobe of horror. My reflection in the metal walls began to change, smiling when I wasn't, frowning when I blinked. One of them looked angry. Then the elevator stopped. The doors opened to blackness. No light, no sound, just void. I stepped out, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. Something behind me was pressing in, filling the elevator like gas, suffocating reality itself. I walked forward, blind, until I hit the floor. Literally, I collapsed onto tile. Cold, familiar. When I opened my eyes, I was in a convenience store. Bright, clean, untouched. It looked normal. Outside the window was my street. My car. I stood up, dizzy, weak. I limped to the glass door, reached for the handle. It didn't open. Neither did the window break when I slammed my fist into it. Behind the register, a mirror hung on the wall. My reflection didn't match. It smiled. Then I heard the door behind me creak open. The dragging had found me. this time, there was no running, no waking up, just the cold fluorescent hum and the walls breathing slow and steady. I'm still here, and I think it wants me to stay.